It had been 7 years since my brother left home. 7 long years. The morning he left, the sky was pale and quiet. I remember standing at the bus station, holding his hand tightly. I was only 16 then. He smiled at me and said, "I'll come back soon, I promise." But soon became years. At first, he called every week. His voice sounded excited and full of hope. He talked about the new country, the tall buildings, the cold weather, and the long working hours. He said he was doing it for us, for our family, for a better future. Then life became busy. The calls became shorter. Then once a month. Then sometimes only a text message. I never complained. I knew he was working hard. I knew he was tired. But some nights I would sit by the window and look at the empty street, wondering if he was looking at the same moon. Our house felt different without him. The dinner table was quieter. His chair stayed empty, but my mother never moved it. She would clean it every day as if he might walk in at any moment. My father tried to stay strong. He would say, "He will come back when the time is right." But I could see the worry in his eyes. Years passed slowly. I finished school. I started working at a small shop near our home. Life continued, but something always felt missing. Every birthday, I hoped he would surprise us. Every festival, I imagined hearing his voice at the door. But the door stayed closed. Sometimes I felt angry, not at him, but at the distance, at the time that kept moving forward without asking us. Then one evening, everything changed. It was a normal day. I was folding clothes in the shop when my phone vibrated. I almost ignored it. Unknown number. I answered softly. "Hello?" There was silence for a second. Then I heard a voice I had not heard clearly in years. "Is this my little sister?" My heart stopped. I could not speak. It was him. His voice sounded deeper, older, tired, but it was him. "I'm coming home," he said quietly. Those 3 words felt unreal. "When?" I whispered. "Tomorrow." I don't remember how I got home that evening. My hands were shaking. My heart was beating so fast it almost hurt. When I told my parents, my mother covered her mouth and started crying. My father sat down slowly, as if his legs could not hold him anymore. None of us slept that night. The next day felt longer than the past 7 years. We cleaned the house again and again. My mother cooked all his favorite dishes. I stood near the window, watching every car that passed. Every sound made my heart jump. Then, just before sunset, a taxi stopped in front of our house. Time slowed down. The door of the taxi opened. A man stepped out. For a second, I did not recognize him. He looked thinner. His hair had a few gray strands. His face was serious, almost unfamiliar. But when he looked up and smiled, I saw my brother again. I ran to him. I did not think, I did not speak. I just ran. He dropped his bag and opened his arms. When he hugged me, I realized how much I had grown. I was no longer the small girl at the bus station, but in that moment, I felt like his little sister again. My mother came out crying. My father followed, trying not to show his tears. We all stood there, holding each other as the sun slowly disappeared behind the houses. That night, we sat together at the dinner table. For the first time in years, his chair was not empty. He told us stories about his struggles, the long shifts, the lonely nights, the times he almost gave up. He said there were days he wanted to come home, but he felt ashamed because he had not earned enough yet. "I thought I needed to bring something big," he said softly. "I didn't know that just coming back was enough." My mother held his hand and said, "You are the gift." We talked until midnight. There was laughter, there were tears, there were long silences filled with peace. Later that night, I went to my room and looked at the moon through the window. For years, I had looked at it alone, but now my brother was under the same roof, and I understood something important. Sometimes we wait for big moments, big success, big money, big achievements. But what we truly need is simple: to sit together, to eat together, to hear the voice we missed. 7 years felt like forever, but in one evening, love filled all the empty spaces. And as I closed my eyes that night, I knew something had finally come home. Not just my brother, but our family.